Adeline, a girl of 13, loved stories. Not the ones tucked between pages, but those whispered on the wind. Stories of hidden pathways and forgotten places. Her heart yearned for adventure. One blustery afternoon she found it, a gap in the old stone wall, almost hidden by ivy. It beckoned her with the promise of secrets. She knew the woods were forbidden, but curiosity, like a mischievous sprite, urged her on. The air grew cooler as she pushed through the opening. Shadows stretched, long fingers reaching out from the trees. Excitement, tinged with trepidation, quickened her steps. The woods were different than she imagined. Hushed, still. The only sound was the rustle of leaves beneath her feet. The trees, ancient and gnarled, seemed to watch her every move. She walked for what felt like hours. The sunlight, already fading, struggled to penetrate the dense canopy. Just as she thought of turning back, she saw it. A clearing bathed in an unnatural silver light. In the centre stood a small cabin. Its wooden walls were weathered and grey, the windows dark and vacant. Smoke curled from its chimney, a tendril of mystery against the darkening sky. Adeline couldn't resist. She had to know its secrets. The cabin door creaked open as if inviting her in. Inside, the air was cold, heavy with the scent of damp earth and something else. Something sweet and strangely unsettling. Dust motes danced in a single beam of moonlight that pierced the gloom. The room was sparsely furnished. A rough-hewn table sat in the centre, 2 chairs flanking its sides, but it was the object on the far wall that drew her attention. A mirror. Its silver surface gleamed, reflecting the moonlight with an unnatural intensity. As Adeline approached, she noticed something peculiar. It wasn't her reflection staring back. The girl in the mirror had eyes as dark as the forest itself, and a smile that seemed both knowing and cruel. Section 4. The Mirror's Call. Adeline raised her hand, mesmerized. The reflection mimicked her gesture, but there was something else. A flicker of movement behind the mirrored surface, a sense of depth that shouldn't be there. The reflection beckoned, not with a movement, but with a feeling. A pull on her very essence, urging her closer. Adeline knew she should turn away, but the allure of the unknown, the promise hidden within the mirror's depths, was too strong. She reached out, her fingertips brushing against the cool glass. In an instant, the world shifted. The cabin, the woods, everything she knew vanished, replaced by a swirling vortex of darkness. And then, silence. Section 5, the empty room. The house held its breath. The grandfather clock ticked, each second echoing the growing unease. Adeline's parents searched, their calls growing frantic. Her room remained unchanged, except it wasn't. Something was different. Her mother felt it first. A chill that sank deep into her bones. The air in the room vibrated with an unnatural stillness. It was as if the space where Adeline once stood had become a void, a vacuum of something terribly wrong. They checked the woods, calling her name until their voices were hoarse. Neighbours joined the search, their faces etched with worry. But Adeline was gone, vanished without a trace. The mystery of her disappearance settled over the house like a shroud. Section 6. Trapped Within. Days turned into weeks. Hope dwindled with each passing hour. Then one morning, Adeline's father noticed something in her room. Something he hadn't seen before. A mirror, propped against the wall where her desk once stood. It was ornate, its silver frame twisted into the shapes of thorns and vines. He hadn't bought it. Neither had his wife. He stepped closer, a sense of dread coiling in his gut. The mirror's surface was cloudy, the reflection distorted. Then, for the briefest of moments, the fog cleared. He saw her, Adeline, trapped within the mirror's depths. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with terror. She pressed her hand against the glass, silently pleading for help. Section 7. A desperate touch. Adeline's mother screamed. She rushed to the mirror, her hand reaching out to touch her daughter's image. "Adeline!" she cried, her voice thick with desperation. "Don't worry, we'll get you out." Her husband hesitated, a cold unease gripping his heart. Something wasn't right. The mirror, the way it reflected the light, the unnatural stillness of it all, it felt wrong, dangerous. He reached for his wife, but it was too late. Her hand touched the glass. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sickening crack, the mirror rippled. Her fingers sank into the surface as if it were water. Her reflection smiled, and the mirror reached back.